Hey everybody, it's Bob from US Gamer. Now, let's do a little experiment. Take yourself back to that distant age of 2004, the same year Facebook launched, George W. Bush got re-elected, and Janet Jackson had her famous wardrobe malfunction. Amid all of these major world-changing events, Nintendo released the DS into the wild, and consumer reactions seemed to be along the lines of, you have to touch a screen to play a video game? Come on, it was weird. Fast forward to 10 years and billions of Angry Bird sales later, and we're more than accustomed to this kind of input. And thanks to the unprecedented success of the DS, it's likely you've owned more than one in your lifetime. But have you explored the depths of the nearly bottomless DS library? If you didn't play these games, you definitely haven't. You've probably played at least one Phoenix Wright game. You know, the Capcom series that taught us the joys of pointing and shouting our way to justice? What you probably don't know is that its creator, Shu Takumi, developed a brand new DS adventure game with mechanics far more ambitious than the Phoenix Wright series. Ghost Trick throws you into the role of a recently deceased detective named Sissel, tasked with solving his own murder, and saving the lives of the unfortunate souls he meets along the way. You see, if Sissel finds a dead body, he can go back in time to 4 minutes before that person died, but there's a catch. Since he's a ghost, he can only possess and manipulate objects as he attempts to rescue a person in their final moments. This premise establishes one of the most inventive adventure games, which, unfortunately, sold like crap. Thankfully, it shouldn't take much of an investment to try out this amazing game for yourself. Remember Rock Band and Guitar Hero? It seemed like only yesterday all of us were wailing away on plastic instruments without shame. Well, just as this former fad was taking off, Nintendo released Elite Beat Agents, a game that commanded players to tap their styluses to the beat of some great pop hits, and some not-so-great ones. Does anyone remember Ashley Simpson? Well, you shouldn't. Elite Beat Agents was about more than simply recreating music, though. Each stage told an individual story in which the titular agents must use their elite beat powers to save the day. Throughout the course of the game, you'll aid a director in crafting his latest blockbuster, assist a harried babysitter throughout her day, and even help a pair of Hilton sister lookalikes survive the ravages of the jungle to the tune of Madonna's Material Girl. Unfortunately, back in 2006, we just weren't ready for interactive hoobastank. Retro Game Challenge's obscure roots didn't help its popularity much. You see, it's based on the Japanese show Game Center CX, in which a middle-aged man struggles to play through the ancient video games of his adolescence. The show's a little more well-known in the States these days, but 5 years ago, that wasn't the case at all. Still, you don't have to know anything about CX to get a kick out of Retro Game Challenge. It's essentially a 1980s Japanese childhood simulator that delivers vaguely similar versions of games you might have played before. But there's more to it than that. The framing device of Retro Game Challenge recreates the growing up with video games experience by having the actions unfold via the antics of pint-sized kids who pore over video game magazines to find the latest previews, reviews, and even codes you can use in the games themselves. Unfortunately, Retro Game Challenge didn't sell well enough for its superior sequel to make it over to the States, but this first game still promises lots of fun for anyone old enough to have experienced those 8-bit days of yore. If you've never played a game from the visual novel genre, 999 is a good place to start. Fair warning though, even if the game includes its share of puzzles, you'll spend most of your time reading text. Thankfully, 999 delivers one of the most original and surprising stories you'll ever experience in a video game. And, in case you were wondering, its title of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors perfectly sums up the premise. 999 traps a group of strangers on a sinking cruise ship and tasks them with forcing their way through several deadly room escape puzzles to save themselves from its creaky confines. It's a little more complicated than that though, since 999 features a masterfully written sci-fi story with unbelievable plot twists that will leave you stunned and smiling in quiet admiration. And if you enjoy this game, there's a 3DS and Vita sequel that continues the story, though that third and final game probably won't ever be made. Sorry to be such a buzzkill. Alright, I know what you're thinking. How can a Kirby game possibly be obscure? That dude's on the cover of Smash Brothers. Well, let me ask you a question. Were you buying new DS games in 2011? Actually, if you're watching a video about obscure DS games, odds are you probably were, so yeah, let's move on. Just like how Kirby made his DS debut with the atypical Canvas Curse, his last DS game, Mass Attack, isn't like a Kirby game you've ever played before. It's completely stylus-driven, which normally wouldn't be the best idea for an action game, but this Kirby's premise is perfectly suited for touch controls. Instead of giving you one pink puffball to move around, Mass Attack provides you with an entire Kirby mob to flick around the screen, leaving untold destruction in their wake. It's an absolute genius idea for a game, and one that actually feels like Katamari Damacy with how you'll feel sweet catharsis by running over everything in your path with an alarmingly cute ball of death. That's how I'd like to go out anyway. Well, that's enough DS love for one video. Check out usgamer.net for more portable fun times, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.